Hey there guys, what's up? Ragtter here, welcoming you back to Ladder Anxiety and a Pokémon Showdown. Now last time we were on here, we got a bit of a stally opponent, so hopefully with this game, we end up having a bit more fun. And I've actually got one of my favorite Pokémon in the form of Chatot, and that makes me pretty happy. Oh, he's saying hi. Hi there. Good luck, and have fun. Big old happy face. Okay. So I'm going to lead off with Relicanth because it's got the Stealth Rocks. I do see a potential defogger in that Vibrava, but I don't think Vibrava wants to go toe-to-toe with a Relicanth. So let's see what my opponent's going to want to end up doing. Being very, very polite in the chat there, though. That's always appreciated. Even if the battle doesn't go well, at least we met a nice person. So my opponent can lead off with Stoutland, I'm going to lead off with Relicanth, and that actually works out pretty well for me, as aside from Wild Charge, which won't pick up the KO onto Relicanth I don't think, my opponent does not have the most to deal with this aging fish. Okay, so the Clefairy isn't the Pokemon I thought he was going to bring in. I thought he would bring in maybe the Arbok to get the Intimidate off onto me. I want to see how much a Head Smash will do to the Clefairy. It's going to do over 50%, so that's pretty good. Now my opponent, taking advantage of the fact that I do not have a Roost user, I only have a Defog user. So I'm going to go for the Head Smash and miss, which is unfortunate, but at least I have the Rock Head, so I'm not really taking damage from this. And Clefairy going to go for the Soft Boil to get itself back into respectable HP. My Head Smash going to do lots of damage. Clefairy going to finally fire off an attack with the Moonblast. Bit of a tepid hit. Relicanth is quite bulky, so I'm wondering if my opponent's going to stay in and let the Clefairy go down. Not going to stay in, going to go into the Dust Noir. Going to find that I have a Leftovers. And my Head Smash going to do a ton. And with no leftovers of its own, Dusk Noir should go down to the next Head Smash. Now, I'm half anticipating the Will-O-Wisp, but I don't want to switch Monferno into the Stealth Rocks, and I don't really want anything else to take it. So Relicanth going to end up burned, but that's pretty okay. I think it's done its job. It got off rocks, it's harassed the Clefairy, it's harassed the Dust Noir, and it's gonna keep missing the Head Smashes anyway, so it's not like I'm relying on the Relicanth for my win condition. It's too slow to be a win condition anyway. So I'm just counting on Relicanth to get off what damage it can before I bring in another Pokemon to clean up. Now if I can get rid of this Dusk Noir actually, that leaves my opponent pretty open to a sweep by Chatot, notwithstanding that Pawniard. Pawniard's the name of that Pokemon. Pawniard is a definite problem, but I think I can handle it. So I could go into Executor. I could also go into Chatot and get the U-turn. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Swanna and Defog. And then from Defog, I can start my U-turn combo. So he's gonna Will-O-Wisp, which is okay. Swanna's not a physical attacker in the slightest bit. And let's Scald to get rid of the Dusk Noir once and for all. So Dusk Noir is gonna go down. And now let's see what my opponent brings in retaliation. Again, I don't really think I need the Swanna, but it certainly doesn't hurt to have around. I think Stoutland outspeeds me. No, it shouldn't actually. Swanna's pretty fast. So let's hope we can get a burn. We are going to do a lot of damage, but no burn here. Gonna go for the Facade, so getting burned would have hindered us in the long run, actually. So now I'm going to go into Monferno. And let's see. I don't think I outspeed with Monferno, so let's go for a Mach Punch. The Mach Punch is almost going to be able to pick up the KO, actually. The Facade gonna knock Monferno down low. But now, I should definitely be able to pick up the KO with my Mach Punch. And I am Eviolite, so I'm not locked into that, so whatever my opponent brings in, I should be able to U-turn out of. It's going to end up being the Pawniard. I want to go for the Mach Punch and hit Pawniard. Gonna knock it out in one hit. Monferno bringing the hits. So I've knocked out 3, my opponent's knocked out 2, and Clefairy's going to be the Pokemon my opponent chooses. So I'm going to go for the U-turn. I outspeed Clefairy. Not going to do a whole lot of damage, but I don't really need it to. And I could go into Mr. Mime. I could also go into Chatot, but Chatot has no defenses. I think I'll do just that. I'll go into Chatot. We'll put... Alright, so that ended up working out as Clefairy goes for the soft-boiled. So now I am free to go for Boom Burst. It's a stab Boom Burst. Alright, now I don't outspeed anything anymore. But Clefairy just barely hanging on, gonna soft-boiled. But now that I'm not choiced in, I'm gonna go for the U-turn. And I will switch into... Do I switch into Mr. Mime? I'm gonna switch into Mr. Mime. It's got a choice specs. I should be able to pick up the KO onto the Clefairy using my Psychic attack. So let's go for that. Actually, that does less than my Chatots did. I guess Mr. Mime not the most powerful physical attacker, but that's okay. If I can get Clefairy down low or lower its special defense, then I can finish off the rest with Chatot. So it should survive with about 7% HP. Gonna go for the soft-boiled, I have to imagine. Put it back to 61. But it can't really touch Mr. Mime. So what I can do is I can keep hammering the Psychic until I get the special D-drop. And at that point, the Clefairy has to switch out. And if Mr. Mime has gone down by that point... Actually, no, I think Clefairy goes down here. He's actually going to lower my special attack, though. And that might have a huge factor in deciding whether or not I actually pick up this KO. It's actually not going to. I overestimated how much that special attack decrease would do. So Clefairy going to go down in the end, and Arbok is going to be my opponent's Pokemon of choice. I'm going to go for the Psychic, though I'm half anticipating the Sucker Punch. Does Arbok get Sucker Punch? It does not, apparently. It gets the Gunk Shot. Knocks my Mr. Mime out. Now, Arbok... Hold on, let's take a look-see here. Data. Arbok. So Arbok's actually got okay, not stellar special defense. I could go into Executor. And I think I actually... No, I don't. I shouldn't outspeed, but Executor's got the Colbur Berry, so I should be able to... I'm actually just going to be able to pick up the KO here. That makes me happy. And now Vibrava's going to be my opponent's last Pokemon. I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm. Gonna do a nice chunk, but not quite enough. He's gonna go for the Toxic. And I guess I'm just gonna go for another Leaf Storm, though it's gonna lower my special attack. He doesn't have anything he can switch out of. So the Vibrava just has to kind of take my abuse here. Gonna go for the Earthquake, not gonna do a whole lot to Executor. And I'm just going to keep hammering Leaf Storm. It's gonna keep lowering my special attack. But unless this Vibrava is carrying Roost, hangs on with 1% HP, and it's got the Roost. Dang it. That's entirely my fault. I'm gonna let Executor go down here, I think. I'm gonna try to hit it and lower its special defense, maybe? No, he's gonna go for the Roost again. If I can lower its special defense with my Psychic, then I might be able to pick up a win here. I actually don't know if the Vibrava is carrying an attack that can hurt my Chatot. It's shown the Earthquake so far. Nothing else. Now, with that much HP, do I survive going into Monferno here? I do, but just. So Vibrava is a dragon now, so none of my good attacks are going to do much, but let's go for a close combat, deal as much damage as we can. Gonna end up knocking it low. Vibrava's gonna go for the Toxic, and Monferno's gonna go down. So now let's go into Chatot, and with my Boom Burst, Chatot should be able to pick up the victory for me. Let's see. Boom Burst is in fact gonna knock it out. And that ended up being a really good battle. Definitely went down to the wire there. I'm very impressed by my opponent. Definitely ended up being better than I would have given it credit for. Alright, now I do want to stop this episode, but I'm having fun, so I think I'm going to go for one more. If it ends up being a stally episode, I'll just cut it out. It'll be fine. But, oh, he wants to rematch. Now, that could be pretty fun. Let's go for that. Let's battle Kid Killa again. Alright, so this time it looks like we've been dropped into the RU tier. Oh. Hey there. I guess he had fun battling me. So I've got Hitmonlee, Dugtrio. I'm going to lead off with Bronzong to try and get my Stealth Rocks going, because this time he absolutely does not have a spinner. And I think my Hitmonlee was carrying Rapid Spin? My Hitmonlee is indeed carrying Rapid Spin. So I'm going to go for the Stealth Rocks. He's going to go for the Fire Punch. And naturally, because of Bronzong's ability having Levitate over Heat Proof, that's going to do a lot. But now, I should be able to... I could probably switch into Drapion, but I'm going to take the safe switch and go into a Lomomola. Gonna end up taking Stealth Rocks, which is actually pretty okay for my team. None of my team is really weak to them. And now, I want to go for the Toxic. Just, okay, we're gonna miss the Toxic, but that's okay. Gonna take a decent chunk from the Dragon Claw, actually. So let's go for the Scald now. Let's fish for a burn on the Druddigan. So he's gonna go for the Sucker Punch. It's gonna do a nice chunk, actually. If we could get the burn, though, not gonna end up with the burn. I'm gonna switch stance then. I'm gonna go for the Toxic to avoid the Sucker Punch. So he's actually just going to go for the Dragon Claw again, which is pretty interesting. Now, I don't think I can take another Dragon Claw, but I should be able to go back into Bronzong. And Bronzong should be able to take one. So he's actually just going to go for the Sucker Punch. Now, if he goes for the Fire Punch again, we'll be in trouble, but... I kind of want to go for the Gyro Ball, but Druddigan is pretty slow as it is. So I might just go for the Earthquake to deal a bit of damage. He's gonna... I guess he was anticipating the switch. Not gonna take a whole lot from the Earthquake, but gonna take more than nothing. That's one way of putting it. So I'll just go for the Earthquake again. At this point, I'm expecting another Sucker Punch, but we'll have to see. He's actually end up gonna switching out. He's gonna go into the Magneton, and Magneton's gonna get knocked down by the Earthquake. That poor guy. That poor guy, he must have been expecting me to switch or to go for the Gyro Ball or something. So now Banette's going to come out. And Banette is also not the fastest, but it should be faster than me. I'm expecting the Taunt to stop me from going for the Toxic, so I'm going to go for the Gyro Ball. He's actually just going to go for the Knockoff, so I didn't really have much of a say in what was going to happen there, now did I? Now, Drapion should be able to deal with this thing, but I'm anticipating the Will-O-Wisp. I could go into Dugtrio and trap it, though. I might save Dugtrio for Emboar, though. I think I will do that. I'm going to go into the Drapion. I don't think Drapion has anything to fear from this. And I should outspeed, actually. Let's go for the Taunt. Let's stop Banette from doing any weird shenanigans. Let's taunt it, and maybe we'll be able to taunt something else he wants to bring in. Like maybe a Swords Dancing Emboar or something. I actually noticed that he has a Hitmonlee too, so he should have a Rapid Spinner. I hadn't factored that into when I went for my Stealth Rocks in the first place, but just now noticing. So Kid Killa said boops in the chat. I don't know what that means. So gonna go for the Mega Banette and gonna go for the knockoff. I guess it's not carrying Will-O-Wisp, and it's gonna get rid of my Black Sludge. Now, I could set up here, and I could go for some Toxic Spikes. I don't think the Banette has anything to hurt me with. I'm gonna do it. Let's go for the Toxic Spikes. And he's gonna go for Shadow Claw. That actually does end up hurting a little bit. And we'll go for it one more time, and then I'll go for the knockoff to try and pick this thing off. He's gonna go for the knockoff again. His taunt is gonna end up ending. Let's see what a knockoff from my Drapion will do to the Banette. Gonna do a whole lot, actually. 53%. It's not even holding an item. The next knockoff will pick up the KO. And if he decides to switch out, so he's gonna go for the Destiny Bond. That's actually not a bad decision. Gonna end up taking out my Drapion. But now his Mega Banette's gone. Now, do I go into Hitmonlee or into a Alomomola or into Dugtrio? I think... No, I'll save Dugtrio for his last Pokemon so I can cripple it. I'll go into Meloetta for now. Although I could go... Actually, too late. So he's going to go back into Druddigan. Druddigan going to take the Stealth Rocks, but it's already Toxic, so nothing more going to come of that. And I'm going to go... I don't know if I can actually take a Sucker Punch from this Pokemon. But I'm anticipating it, so I'm going to try and stall him out. I'm going to go for the Calm Mind. He's just going to go right for the Fire Punch, which is weird. Maybe he's knocking me low so that the Sucker Punch will do more, which would actually be pretty smart on his part. He's actually just going to take the Hyper Voice and going to go down, which leaves Meloetta pretty set up here, considering that Wait, I didn't have a Psychic type move. So Hitmonlee might actually be a severe problem for me. Hitmonlee gonna take the Toxic, gonna take the Stealth Rocks. I'm gonna go for the Hyper Voice just to try and do what damage I can. Hopefully we can knock out Hitmonlee so that it can't get the Rapid Spin going. But if it does go for Rapid Spin, then that's his Hitmonlee down versus mine. So Hitmonlee is in fact gonna faint to the Meloetta. And let's see what my opponent decides to bring in retaliation. Gonna be the Gastrodon. Now the Gastrodon is a Pokemon I could see myself definitely wanting to Memento. But let's go for the Hyper Voice and see how much damage we can end up doing. I know Gastrodon gets Recover, but the Toxic should be a severe problem for it. Gonna knock it down really low. That's enough for the Toxic to take it down. It's gonna go for the Clear Smog though. Oh, and it's holding Recovery item. So that's actually not gonna be enough. And it's gonna hang in there for one more turn. Force me to go for another Hyper Voice, which is, of course, going to chip my health away even more with the Life Orb. That's it. I forgot for a second. So Emboar gonna come out. Emboar Toxic, Emboar taking Stealth Rocks, Emboar gonna take a Hyper Voice to its big piggy face. Let's see what Meloetta and Emboar match up like. It's actually faster, gonna go for the Flare Blitz, gonna knock Meloetta out, and gonna take a little bit of damage in return. Here is the point where I want to go into Dugtrio and go for the Memento to cripple its attack and its special attack. Now you might be wondering, why not just try and pick up the KO with Dugtrio? I'm not sure that I can. I'm not sure Dugtrio has the damage. It actually is faster and it goes for the Flare Blitz, which is a severe problem for me. But I think I might be able to win with Meloetta. Not with Meloetta, with a Alomomola. So I'm going to go into Hitmonlee, and I'm going to go for the Mach Punch. And with the Mach Punch, I'm actually going to get a crit and knock Emboar out. I'm going to say GG again, and Kid Killer is actually going to leave that time. So, probably looking for a bit of redemption, not going to find it with me, I'm sorry about that. But, we had a good 2 games that filled up a ladder anxiety episode, and I'm pretty pleased about that. Kid Killer also was a good sport, and I was very appreciative to get to battle him. So, if you guys have enjoyed this episode of Ladder Anxiety, then please let me know with a like and a comment down below, telling me just how much fun you've had. Let me know if I've helped you to relax at all, if I've made Pokemon more accessible, or if I've generally just made your day a little bit better. I love to read about those kinds of things. I will see you guys next time when we return to whatever game we're playing at the time, so be on the lookout. Until then, be sure to take care and have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye!